Up this path is the grave of Terauchi Masatake, who was a Prime Minister, the head of the army, and the first Japanese governor of Korea when Japan annexed, invaded, I don't know, when they took over Korea. For the Japanese part, I believe that they were afraid that the Russians were going to take over Korea, and they had newspaper articles about how Korea was like a dagger in the heart of Japan, because being close to sort of, this prefecture of Yamaguchi, it would have enabled Russian troops to have been stationed at a vantage point close to the Japanese mainland. And I'm not sure where his grave is. I'm more interested actually in the view, but perhaps Koreans might like to come here and stage a peaceful protest. To the locals, of course, on the contrary, Mr. Terauchi is a local hero, and one of the many prime ministers from Yamaguchi prefecture, including the present one. The graveyard is a little bit overgrown, but it's on a hill overlooking Yamaguchi, so there's a possibility that when I get to the top of the steps here, I'll be able to look down the city. And that is my major motivation for coming up here, because I'm really into views. How are we doing? Not wonderful, but it's surprising how difficult it is to get a good view of a city in Japan. You need to know where to go. The Japanese are not terribly into it, unlike Britons. So that's not bad, I suppose. Over there's the prefectural headquarters, my house, Xavier Memorial Church, and the roofs of a lot of Japanese houses. And we can go further up. So, as well as seeing the grave of the first Japanese overlord of Korea, you can look down on a Japanese city here. It's in Miyano. The famous guy's grave is up there, but it's getting a bit wooded, so I don't believe the view will be any better. But I'm going to go up there and have a look. No, the view is a bit better up here. If Mr. Terauchi has a ghost, then his ghost has a good view. This is his grave here, surrounded by these lanterns. And as I've said in other videos, I believe that the purport of the lanterns, which are almost never lit, and generally never lit, is to remind us that, in a sense, they're always on. Even if it was pitch black, the lights are always on. There's a light that shines in the darkness, as it were. The screen itself is sort of like a plasma display. There it is. Always got a big grave, this gentleman. Head of the army and general. Terauchi Masaki, with his crest. In a clearing in the wooded hill above Prime Minister Terauchi Masaki's grave is a Japanese-style war cemetery, a soldier's cemetery, war dead cemetery, with rows and rows of what might be described as Buddhist stupas, perhaps, or Buddhist-style gravestones. Rather than crosses, they bear the names of the deceased soldiers who fought in wars after the First Sino-Japanese War, I think it said. So in the late 19th century and the earlier 20th century wars. And someone's keeping it in fairly good trim and cutting the grass. I'm not sure. That probably that thing at the end there is a sort of a general war memorial to the unnamed dead.